So for this next video, we're going to be looking at how to colorize older black and white photographs through the neural filters in Photoshop. So I'm just going to go in and open just an old black and white photograph here that I have a few different selections, but I'm going to choose this one here. Under the filter menu, once again, I'm going to go into neural filters. And this one, they seem to work out quite a bit of the kinks out of this in the earlier beta version. So this one's actually considered to be one of the feature versions here. So it's under the Colorize menu down here. By the way, I forgot to mention before, if you happen to see these little cloud icons with the arrow pointing down, it just means that you have to download the filter as a plugin for your version of Photoshop in order for it to work first. So sometimes it take a couple minutes, maybe depending on the size of the plugin. So this one's pretty light. So again, it's still using the neural filter and the artificial facial recognition method here to identify that yes, this is a portrait of a person. So therefore, the portrait features will activate for you. However, we're just going to go into this colorize option. So right away, you'll see as soon as I choose this, we have some options here. So the default option is going to say auto color image. So let's turn this on. It's going to scan the image, and boom, there you have it. It's basically gone in and colorized this thing to the best of its ability based on what it recognizes as a portrait of a person. You can see eyes and nose, mouth, face, so it knew that there was lips there, so that's where the lipstick color came from there. Even down here where it's kind of colorized the dress a little bit. So this kind of has that older sort of watercolor kind of colorization effect that was done years ago on these old black and white style photographs. So it might not be perfect, and you can see that it's missed a couple little issues here, like the color from the rose here is bleeding a little bit over onto the side of the dress. Same thing with this, with the rose of the carnation here. It's just bleeding over a little bit the yellow with the pink. And then just a little bit here with the head is not quite matching with the hair. So what we're going to do now, we're going to look at how to kind of polish this, tweak this a little bit compared to what it was choosing automatically, right? So first of all, even before we get to that, there's this profile option here that allows you to pull down this little drop-down menu that can let you go in and choose variations on this auto color fill. So this one's a retro blue-brown, they call it retro bright, which will give you a lot more luminant colors. There's these sort of denim one here that's a little more bluish, faded. It's just a sort of a more lower contrast version of that. It's this one green. It's a bit greenish, obviously. So you have all these different variations. If you choose none, it's just going to go back to the default option. Once again, you have your sliders here, which is all your saturation, your different color mappings and things like that. But what you can do in this colorize window over here is you can choose what's called your focal points. So the focal points are the areas within the scene that you want to colorize or change the color of. So let's say we'll target this area here. So you see this kind of part of her dress, which should be more yellow like this, and it's coming over to this sort of pinky colors, probably because it's bleeding over from the colorized rose here. So what we can do is we can just click in that area on the little thumbnail over here. It's going to ask what color do you want. I'm just going to choose sort of like a very light yellowish color. It's going to fit in that area. It's going to scan it once again, and there it is. It's going to apply it overall in that area. If you want to adjust this a little bit, you have this size color slider here. So the size will determine how far that will bleed out into the other areas of the document. So then you can click to add additional ones in any areas that you find that might be causing some problems. And then if you find that the color is too bright or not the right color, you can just click back on this color box here and you can choose your colors. As usual, you have your hue slider here. You have your saturation is moving left to right in this box, and luminance top to bottom. So the lower down you go, the darker, higher up, brighter. For the left, desaturated. For the right, more saturated. And then you choose the color along the hue slider there. So you can go in and add, let's say if I want to add a little bit more pink to the rose over here, instead of this one, I'm going to click and then it's going to apply the yellow. Of course, I'm going to choose the color. We choose like a pinker color there. Let's try that, see how that looks. There you go, it fills that in. And then maybe just this little spot over here on the back of her hair. Rather than being pink, I'll give it a bit of a more of a brownish color. So it knows which one that you currently have selected by having this little blue band around it. Click here. Let's go in with a sort of a brownish color there. This might be a little too saturated. No, it's not too bad. So you're kind of matching there. So once you're done, as usual, you're just going to hit OK, and it's you have the option to put output as a new color layer, which is kind of interesting. But we'll hit OK for now, just to see how this applies. So it's going to be a merge version of this, exactly as we've seen in the past for these neural filters. However, if I go back to the original black and white and do it one more time under the neural filter, I apply those same settings. Colorize. If you choose output as a new color layer, it's going to be just the color information itself. So when this comes out, it is going to be essentially just a blob of color that sits on top of your original tonal background image. And because the blending mode is set to color, everything is interacting with the underlying option. So if this was set to the normal blending mode, it would look like that. Multiply is going to be too dark, all these other different ones. So the Colorize basically ignores any tonality, and it just assigns color to the tones that are beneath it within the layer stack.